Let's see what you find, newcomer.
Hello? Hey, can you hear me?
Oh, my head. What? Who are you? Are you police? I've already told them everything.
It's okay. I'm Charles Reed, Private Eye. Mr. Throgmorton hired me to find his son.
Oh, okay. What do you want?
I want to know what happened here. Every detail.
I don't remember much. Me, Paul, and Lewis. We were here. This is our house. Barry was outside, on his business. Then he came back carrying Throgmorton's son. He was unconscious, barely breathing. Barry left again to call Mr. Robert.
Then what?
We put the guy in Lewis's room. Then he started to make these horrible sounds and... okay, my head began to burst. And he woke up. And after that, I don't remember a thing, just dreams. Drowned streets, a sleeping giant, a voice that called me.
That sounds familiar. Tell me about yourself.
Name's Will Hammond. I'm a fisherman. We all are. Live here together. Me, poor fella Paul, Barry, and Innsmouther Lewis Flynn. We moved here after the flood. I worked on the railroad, but the rail ain't kicking anymore, so I started fishing. It was at or starve.
Where are all the other guys?
That's Paul there on the floor. Kay be with him. Barry's outside with Mr. Throgmorton. Lucky rascal missed everything. And I have no idea where Lewis or Throgmorton's son got to. Starting to suspect the worst.
I'll leave you to it. Take care of yourself, Will.
Please, Detective, sir, tell me the truth. Could it be me? Did I kill Paul? Or, okay, did I kill him?
I don't know yet, Will. The police will stop anyone coming in or out of here, so I suggest you just try and get some rest.
I'm afraid of what I might dream.
I can barely recognize the face of the poor fella. He was beaten to a pulp. Seems like Prohibition hasn't affected Oakmont too much.
My head! I still hear those voices.
Choo-choo. Ahem.
Glenna, Nechri, Glenna, Gebhal, Nukulina, Haftin.
Head. I still hear those voices.
Something with this helmet gives me chills. What's wrong with it? Mr. Throgmorton, I found this in the lifeboat. Looks like it's your son's will.
Give it to me. Oh, my boy, what did you get yourself into? If only I hadn't sent you on that cursed expedition.
Bye. It would take tremendous effort to move this thing, let alone tossing it over. There was a fierce fight here, but someone tried to flee.
Kia Katyfoo.
Take this, ape face. Yeah, run!
What's happening?
Okay, let's see what we have here.
What?
Take this, ape face. Yeah, run!
When Albert Throgmorton woke up, he was not himself. He attacked the fishermen, and his hysteria spread to them. When he got wounded, he fled.
My head. I still hear those. What's this?
So the fishermen pursued Albert, even let off a few shots. Robert was wounded, he managed to climb that high. Robert wasn't exaggerating when he said he raised him strong. There's something in the pocket. The blood is fresh. Whomever it belongs to could not have got far. The door won't budge. One fatal round through the forehead. That's no accident. This was deliberate.
Cool how it goes in and out of third person, like over his shoulder.
Ugh, I'll miss the carpenter's food giveaway with this darn port closure.
Stay alert. Monsters lurk underground. They're everywhere.
Welcome to Under the Keel. What do you want?
You wouldn't happen to know a fella called Lewis, would you?
Do you expect me to know every darn man in this Borg? Stop bothering me. I got paying customers here.
Fine, let me be blunt. Is this your note? I don't see any other bars around.
Look, outsider. I don't know who you are and what you want, but I do know one thing. Stop bothering me, or you'll be in a world of trouble. Capiche?
I've seen some unsettling creatures around. Like nothing I've ever encountered. What are they?
So you met a wild beast, newcomer. No one knows what they are, but consider yourself lucky to still be in one piece. They arrived in the flood. Some say they come from the sea. Others that they are Kay's punishment for us.
And what do you say?
If it bleeds, you can kill it. Keep your gun handy. And if you want to erase the memory, I sell a perfect cure right here. Remember, better to be a coward and live than brave and dead. Unless you're a newcomer.
Bye.
Didn't I tell you to stop?
You did. But I found out more about Lewis Flynn.
Are they making him thicker out of town these days? I told you, I ain't saying squat. Go away.
As it happens, I know you owe a debt to Mr. Flynn. Trouble is, I found your note near the dead body of Albert Throgmorton, son of Robert. So, it seems Lewis is in trouble. Might have even come here to hide. But you hand him over, and he won't be back to collect what you owe. Get me?
Rock. That would explain the blood. Fine. If it gets me out of this mess, you can have him.
So?
He's upstairs. Here's the key. You gotta promise to deal with him, once and for all. But save the shooting for outside, huh?
Smart man. There's your good deed for the day. Bye.
Hey, who are you? What are you doing?
Charles Reed, private investigator. Mr. Throgmorton hired me to find his son Albert, so I think you know why I'm here.
Throg. That darn bartender. It was all that crazy ape's fault. You hear me?
Calm down. I only want to speak, for now. But no, if you reach for your gun, you'll hit the floor faster than you can say poetic justice.
I got nothing to hide.
You shot to kill. No warning, no second chances. You pursued Albert even after he fled. Why?
I can't remember it. When he woke, it was like a bloody mist descended over me. First thing I recall after is that darn warehouse and me covered in blood. I had no idea what happened, though I suspected it had something to do with that ape. Turns out, I was right.
Start at the beginning. What happened?
We were in our house, me, Paul, and Will. Barry'd gone to the sea. Though I told him that it would only bring bad luck. If he'd listened to me, we'd all still be alive.
Come on, Lewis. Focus.
Right. Well, Barry dragged that damn ape to our house. He was bragging about how much Mr. Throgmorton would give us for saving his son. But that ape, he was out cold. Then woke in an instant and started screaming, attacking us. After that, can't remember a thing.
The things you did to Albert don't look like a bloody rage. A fatal shot to the head, a hidden body. One might start to wonder if it was deliberate.
I don't know what to say.
WTF is the guy? Emoji astonished face. LOL.
I hear there's a bit of a feud between the Innsmouthers and the Throgmortons. Care to fill me in?
Those apes hated us from the moment we arrived in Oakmont. Our home was destroyed. We just needed a place to stay. The Blackwood Grand family sheltered us, but others were not as hospitable. We needed jobs, food, and medicine. The city denied it all.
And so?
We had to fight for every crumb of bread. And those Throgmortons in their high castle only made our life harder, always conspiring behind our backs, always setting people against us. I'd love to see them suffer like we suffered.
What kind of... why do you... your face, it's,
Oh, so you're here to attack me just because I look different to you? Want to spit on me, whisper to your friends? What's new?
No, I'm sorry. I didn't know how to ask. I've just never met someone like you before. I didn't mean any offense.
Innsmouther's bodies were blessed by the sea. You're gonna see a lot of us here, so you better get over it. We are proud of who we are.
You mentioned a grand family. What do you mean?
So you're a newcomer, huh? Explains a lot.
Yeah, a newcomer with a gun. Answer the question.
Okay. People here are crazy about bloodlines and tradition and reputation. The head honchos of Oakmont are called the Grand Families. There's the Carpenters, who control most of the city's underworld, the Blackwoods, who share kin with Innsmouthers through the Marsh family.
And let me guess, the Throgmortons.
Right, those filthy apes. Now that most of the Blackwoods are gone, there's nobody left to protect us Innsmouthers.
I think I've got all I need.
Please, Mr. Reed, don't tell Throgmorton about me. I know I'm in no position to ask. I didn't want to do whatever it is I did. Honest, have mercy, please. I have a family. Without me, they'll starve.
This is not exactly cut and dry. I need some time to think.
Perhaps I can offer something to grease your grinds. I still have a few bullets on me.
You think you're the first person to offer me a bribe?
Please, Mr. Reed.
Now, don't try my patience further, Mr. Flynn.
Damn Katie ain't messing around.
Mr. Throgmorton, I'm afraid I have bad news.
No.
Yeah, I found your son in the basement of a nearby warehouse. I'm sorry, but he was murdered. Shot in the head and the body hidden.
No. It cannot be true. No, no, no. I don't believe it. No.
I've tracked down your son's murderer.
Where? Who is he?
Just as I suspected, the Innsmouther Lewis is responsible for your son's murder. He's hiding at the local bar. Just ask the bartender. Seems like he had a bone to pick with your family, and took it out on Albert.
Oh, that scum won't be getting off easy. The whole city shall see what happens when you cross the Throgmortons. Justice, bittersweet as it is, shall be served. It's rare for a newcomer to make himself so useful. Thank you.
Mr. Throgmorton, I hate to press you, but do you think you could help me now?
Yes, you've earned it. Kay, to think a newcomer barely off the boat solves a crime the police couldn't, but I digress. Remind me, what brought you to Oakmont?
I think I'm going mad, Mr. Throgmorton. I see things, visions, and I needed to stop. I was drawn here, or guided, or I don't know. But I believe the source of this madness is here, in Oakmont.
You're not wrong, Mr. Reed. An inexplicable hysteria spread through Oakmont after the flood. I funded an expedition to explore recent geological activity that may be responsible.
Do these cases of hysteria involve shared visions as well?
Since the flood, many Oakmonters have had similar nightmares. Indeed, Professor Doe, the expedition leader, complained of them herself.
Waterlogged ruins with unnatural architecture, a sleeping giant, drowned streets, and a voice calling from the depths.
Her words exactly. She proposed the expedition, desperately wanting to find the cause.
A geological expedition? I'm not sure I follow.
I have reason to believe the flood and this madness have the same source. As above, so below. So I sent men to find out.
Has your expedition found anything?
I do not know. Albert was part of it. His passing cannot be coincidence. Why was he alone at the port? And where are the others?
You mentioned the flood. You think it's more than just a natural disaster.
You weren't here, Mr. Reed. What happened defied scientific explanation.
You think your son was killed because the expedition uncovered something?
Is it so hard to believe? I had no news for a week, then Albert, the only one I could trust, comes ashore and is killed.
It does sound suspicious.
Mr. Reed, I want you to find out what's going on. I expect you're as interested in the expedition's results as I am.
If I'm going to look into this, I'll need to know more. Where should I start?
I'll give you the address of the expedition's headquarters and a key.
That's all you can tell me?
Let me be clear, Reed. You do not speak to me like that again.
I'm sorry, Mr. Throgmorton. I just meant the more I know, the better.
I am a busy man. I funded the research, but left all preparations to Professor Doe and Albert. When you've finished, come see me at the Throgmorton family manor. It's in Old Grove. Here, I'll show you.
What about my expenses?
They will be reimbursed after you complete your task. And of course, you've earned some compensation for your work here at the port. I'll also include bullets.
Bullets?
The dollar lost its use here, Mr. Reed. After the flood, Oakmont returned to bartering. Bullets mean more than bills.
crew of the Cyclops. Semper Fortis, brother. No matter how much of this I chug down, the visions always return. Never again, they say. The door won't budge.
My dude be looking like a mafia
Finally,
warlord with
you're
a coat
awake.
on. Emoji happy
Gotta
tears.
tell you, though,
Emoji happy
mister,
tears.
you want to stay on here? You stop making all that noise.
Sorry, but who are you again?
You bang your head or something? I'm Victor Olmsted. I own the place. This place. The Devil's Reef Hotel.
Noise? What noise are you talking about?
I expect my guests to be respectable.
you
Moans,
there?
chanting, all that kind of thing. It stops, all right?
Got any proof it was me? It could have been one of my neighbors. I slept like a rock. I didn't hear a thing.
That's exactly what a newcomer would say.
I am here.
Your neighbors are
I am
respectable
playing
people and
LOL.
would never do such a thing. Don't think your yellow-clad patron means you get away with everything.
You're not exactly friendly with your guests. Are we the ones keeping you in business?
All these newcomers after the flood, they're stark raving mad.
What do you mean?
You can't imagine the crazy notes and books I find after they move out. Only thing they're good for is lighting the kitchen stove.
Can I have a look?
I knew it. I tell you, no one sane would be interested. And you want to take a look? Well, fine.
Just
Take
kidding.
what you wish.
door won't budge. Makes this place feel more like home. I miss Boston already.
I'm watching you, newcomer.
Something you like. Cheaper than the rest.
Patient or visitor? Hold on. Let Dr. Grant guess.
A visitor. Though you are a bit pale, you don't have a headache,
do you?
The usual. Nothing to write home about.
Ah, a chronic headache sufferer. Fascinating. By coincidence, I was studying helminths and their role in illness before the flood. Did you know that all of us are infected by helminth? Your headaches could indicate that they have infested your brain.
That's news to me, Doc. Sounds serious.
May I suggest you become a subject in my experimental medical program?
I think I'll pass, Doc. I played lab rat in an asylum in Boston. Can't say it did a damn thing for me.
Oh, what a pity. It seems as though your brain is already too damaged by the helminth for rational thought.
It looks like hard work in these conditions. You need a hand?
Well, yes, actually. But it may result in close contact with the wiles. Is that going to be a problem?
I'm prepared to face men and beasts alike. Count me in.
Ah, I can see it in your eyes. Well, I have taken it upon myself to study the wild beasts, but need more data to confirm two of my hypotheses. One concerns the multi-handed creatures, and the other the vomiting humanoids.
Those hideous wretches seem almost human. But what could turn one into such a monstrosity?
Jim Bells, a patient of mine, was admitted to hospital with symptoms resembling cholera, but he turned into one of those things. Incredible. Here's the address. Find out what happened.
What have you found out about the multi-handed beasts?
One of my patients saw them in his nightmares before the flood. I can't visit him, but he must know something. Here's his address.
Bye. Hello, officer.
Well, look who finally decided to show up. If it ain't Charles Reed, the genius that cracked the case of Albert Throgmorton. Captain Caleb Lyons at your service. What can we simpletons do to assist you, Mr. Holmes?
Do you and I have a problem, officer?
No. Aside from making everyone in the Oakmont Police Department look like idiots, let me be frank, newcomer. You ain't welcome. You slip up, don't cross a T or dot an I, and I'll treat you like every other criminal here.
Okay. Well, can I use the police archive in the meantime?
You can, but only because of Mr. Throgmorton's patronage. And heed me well, you're on mighty thin ice, and I'll be under it when it breaks.
Never mind, Epic Store has it. It's not on Steam, sadly.
Don't waste my time, newcomer.
The old papers are by the door. Take them and stop bothering me already.
I think you've got me confused with someone else.
Aren't you a newcomer?
Help me out here. What's the connection between newcomers and old newspapers?
It's cold sleeping in the street, and they come to collect the old newspapers for warmth.
Yeah, I guess I am a newcomer. Charles Reed, private investigator. And I also need your old newspapers, the archive, to be exact.
Ah, so you're the one who cracked the Albert Throgmorton murder case.
This game has too
Nice
much
work.
dialogue.
I'm Helen Bland. Say, can you do me a favor? Give me an exclusive interview. You won't regret it. The Oakmont Chronicle is the best newspaper for miles around.
All right, I'll be sure to make some time for you, Miss Bland. Do you still want that interview? I got some time now, if you're ready.
Oh, absolutely. We know that you're the private eye who solved the case, but tell our reader something more about yourself.
I'm a former Navy diver. Served on the USS Cyclops, and, well, after the war, I found myself in Boston. I've been a private eye ever since.
Oh, a brave sailor. Well, I imagine you'll get accustomed to local life easily. We have plenty of water around here. Maybe we'll have the chance to work together later. Who knows? And now the big question. Why are you here? What brought you to Oakmont?
Currently, I'm tracking down the source of the psychic phenomenon that's been causing madness and visions all across the country.
Ah, yes. It affected people here, but we were much more concerned with the flood. Though Robert Throgmorton sent an expedition.
Yeah, and then hired me to find it. Ironic, don't you think?
I think that's enough for now. I can't give the readers too much all at once. Thank you for your interview, Mr. Reed.
My pleasure. Maybe I'll do something interesting enough to make the papers again. You never know. See you later.
LOL.